Well, g'day guys, Merv Hughes here with Commodore Solar, Commodore Australia, whatever you like to be called, James Dainton. Now, you have three different types of solar pumps. You've got AC, you've got DC. Now, apart from being thunderstruck, what's the difference?
Well, there are three different types. So we've got two DC solar pumps. These are our domestic sizes. So we've got a DC surface pump. So you use these sort of pumping out of a channel, pumping out of a tank. You can use these to pump out of a dam as well. Then we've got our DC submersible pumps, often used down a bore. You can definitely use these in a dam and that sort of thing as well. So they both run off a DC controller like that. So either 24, 48 or 72 volt. And then
We've got the big dog.
We've got the big dog. So these will do up to about 20,000 litres per day. And then basically, if you need more water than that or more pressure, then we step up to the workhorse hybrid solar range. And basically what we're doing with these is we're solarising an AC pump. So that pump there is a standard 240 volt AC pump. And what we're doing with this clever box here is that's a pump drive inverter, and that converts your solar power and it converts it into, give the pump 240 volt that it needs, so it can run just off solar. It doesn't need any other mains connection, so you can run it as a standalone solar pump, or you can also use it with generator as well. So it's got generator and mains input, so so that can be handy. So just say, for example, you do have not the best mains connection, but that can basically pull in the mains when required, and it can also start a generator if required too. So what you might do in that case, you might set the timer to run for 12 hours a day. So say from 8 AM till 8 PM. So when there's enough solar, it doesn't start the generator, it'll just run off the solar. And if it needs some extra power, it will start the generator and it will run off the generator. And then that way you've got a guaranteed amount of water per day. If it's absolutely critical that you get X amount of water per day, then you've got the generator there to guarantee that between the solar and generator, you're going to get your desired water.
Now, I'm looking at these two, looking at this big dog, as we called it before. I would imagine that this is about sheer capacity, so the amount of water you want to pump.
Absolutely, yep. So basically every pump's made up of two components essentially, so pressure and flow. So the bigger the pump is, so you might have a really large pump like that and it actually doesn't deliver that much water, but it's got a lot of pressure. It's got a lot of capacity for pressure, and vice versa. It might be a large pump that doesn't have a lot of pressure but can do a lot of flow. But yeah, absolutely. Like this fella here might do 5,000 litres per day, and that one can do 30,000 litres per day.
So capacity is one thing. What's the other thing you've got to look at when you're looking at these pumps?
So head pressure, so the pressure of the pump's important as well. So just say, for example, you've got two farmers. Both farmers need 20,000 litres per day. One's got a bore that's 10 metres deep and the other's got a bore that's 100 metres deep. So to get you the amount of pressure required, to pump from 100 metres is so much more, so that he needs a much bigger pump just to deliver the same amount of water. So that means a bigger pump, more panels and that sort of thing, but it's all doable. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. At least 95% of circumstances, we've got a solar pump to suit it.
So capacity and circumstance is one thing, but price. How's all this price-wise?
Yeah, so if you want to stack it up, say, versus a fuel pump, where you're filling that with fuel every day, we find a solar pump will pay for itself in 2.5 to 3 years compared to the amount of fuel that you'd put in it. So in 2.5 or 3 years' time, when you don't have to go down and put fuel in it, it's just free water at that stage.
Diesel fuel, what's about $2.20 a litre?
Doesn't seem to be getting any cheaper.
Solar panels, they're the way to go. Solar pumps.
That's it.
Commodore Australia, get on board, guys.